It's been a while. You know, when we first started this podcast, I don't think either of us were planning on taking a month break, but here we are now 4 weeks later.
It could be a monthly podcast.
Yeah, that's not my initial plan. But welcome back, everybody, to the second episode of Press Y. Our first episode was on April 28th, 2022, and at the time of filming it is now May 24th. Not the most consistent podcast ever, but trust us, the episodes will speed up a bit.
Hey, real life gets in the way sometimes.
Yeah.
Like studying for a math test.
Okay. Wow. This guy just put me on the spot.
Boom, roasted.
Okay. So we have a lot of stuff to talk about, and I have a feeling that what I want to talk about right now is what happened actually today, and this is probably the greatest day of my life, and I'm still in utter shock about it. I saw the actual Stanley Cup today. The one of one, not the replica at the Hall of Fame. Nope. The actual Stanley Cup that will be presented on the ice in 2 weeks.
Well, why don't we go back just a little bit before we talk about the experience with it, and let's start last night.
Yeah.
Okay. And talk up the story so people kind of understand what's going on.
You're gonna put your point of view, and then I'm gonna put my point of view.
Okay. All right. So, my wife and daughter were in the city last night watching a Broadway show about Neil Diamond. I get a call on their way home. Dylan, I have a chance to take Dylan to see the Stanley Cup tomorrow. Do you think it's okay if he doesn't go to school? And I said, like the real Stanley Cup, like Lord Stanley's Cup? And my wife was like, yes. So I said, yeah, I think it's okay if he misses a day of school to see the Stanley Cup. So we decided that we were going to allow him to go to work with his mom, but because he needed to wake up over an hour earlier to do that, we needed to tell him the night before. We weren't going to tell him what the surprise was, but we did want to at least tell him, hey, you're waking up early and you're going to go with mom. And we went into his room. He's like already half sleeping. we wake him up. I put him on the phone with my wife, and I'll let him I'll let him tell the rest.
Okay, so I was half asleep. I was just kind of on my phone. I was like dozing in and out of consciousness. I was about to put my phone down and go to bed. And then my dad knocks on the door. I'm like, okay, what does this guy want? It's almost 11 at night. And I was not having the greatest day, so I was just like, let me go to sleep. Tomorrow's a new day. And my mom's on the phone. And I hadn't seen her all day. I get home from lacrosse, which I had a game over an hour away. So, I hadn't seen her all day because they had already left for the Broadway show. It's the whole thing. So, I hadn't seen her. And she goes, oh, hey, bud. How would you like to come to work with me tomorrow? I was like, what? And keep in mind, I'm still like waking up. So I'm still so confused, and I was like, okay. And then she was like, no, you're coming with me. Without me, I was like, okay, and what are we, and why? She's like, it's a surprise. So wake up this morning around, 6 o'clock, and get up and put on shorts, and she says, you might want to grab a Rangers jersey. And I was like, okay, what is this? Is this going to be like a Rangers signing, like autograph signing?
That would have been cool.
But, I was like, what could this be?
Which Ranger would you have wanted to see in a signing?
Mika. 100%.
Mika.
Yeah, he's my favorite.
Didn't we get Mika's sign already?
We did.
Yeah.
But like I was like, what is happening? Let's just go. So we go, and then at around 10, she's like, okay, are you ready for your surprise? And I go, yeah, I mean, and this wasn't on school grounds because my mother works at a school. So we drive around 3 minutes away where eventually we see, we go somewhere and next thing you know, 5 minutes later, a black SUV.
You could say where you went. It's all right.
I don't want to listen. Okay, know what? Nikki Cass, I'm sorry, man.
Shout out Nikki Cass.
Yeah, okay, so Nikki Cass was shooting a hockey video, and I didn't know that. I guess he just wanted to do it, or because I didn't know at the time. I was like, okay, maybe he's just gonna use me to film, because I've been a hockey player for a decade now. So I was like, okay, maybe he'll just use me to film. So we're talking on,
and he knows you play hockey.
Yeah,
he's come to one of your games.
He's come to
before.
one of my games. He knows my skill level. So, so we were just talking on the. He was just kind of like we were just kind of talking on the stoop, and he was like, "Do you know the rules of the Stanley Cup?" And I was like, "Yeah, you can't touch it before you win it. You can't hold it unless you want it." And I obviously have never met anyone, but anyone like regarding the Stanley Cup. So, but then, black SUV with tinted windows pulls up. I'm like, okay, this is someone important. You know when they have the tinted windows, that is someone important.
That's it.
And then, I think every hockey player, every hockey fan knows this guy. Mike, the keeper of the cup, walks out of the. I'm like, no shot. Also, nicest guy in the world, by the way.
Does he wear the white gloves?
Yeah, he actually does. Wears the white gloves. Like super nice guy. Like, got into a couple conversations with him. That's for later though. And then, so like I'm still in utter shock. I have my Zibanejad jersey on. Like, I was so confused at what was going on. I'm still in utter shock. And then Nikki Cass's video, which I helped shoot and helped out with, which it's not up yet, but it will probably be up by Friday when we're posting this. This is a Wednesday. But I was like, okay, like this is probably the greatest day of my life, and it was. Now, let's get into playoffs and let's get into actual hockey. I know we wasted around 5 minutes with that, but that was a really cool story for me, and that was really cool. Now, we're just gonna get straight into it. The Panthers' success. What is going on? They were down 3-1 against the Big Bad Bruins, the best team. I think everyone, honestly, I'm gonna say I had them sweeping the Panthers in the first round in my bracket.
I think a lot of people had that.
I mean, who would have thought? Like, that's going to 7 games. And, like, I think once they won Game 5, that gave them such a boost. And Lyon was, like, crapping the bed. And, like, put in Bobrovsky. They took a chance in Bobrovsky, which we will get on later. We will get on to him later. But the Panthers have just been doing everything right so far. Like, what do you think specifically just clicked for them?
I think they just over the course of an 82 game season, it takes a lot, and it's such a long season. You go through your ups, you go through your downs. They were struggling to get into the playoffs. They were clawing.
Yeah.
The Penguins lost an important game down the stretch, and that allowed the Panthers to get in.
Yeah.
But they're playing meaningful hockey every night for almost a month to try to scratch and claw to get into that playoff spot. And I think that's an important thing. And when you hit your stride and you understand what you're doing right and what needs to happen, teams just gel and the chemistry is there. Yeah. They're relentless on the forecheck. They've got an incredible amount of skill on their, first couple of lines. I know Barkov got injured. I don't know if he's playing tonight.
Yeah, I don't think he's playing tonight, but did you hear Paul Maurice, what he said about him? He was at bar mitzvah.
Yeah, he didn't want to let the kids down. He is playing tonight, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he is playing, but just an amazing amount of skill in their top 6. And Tkachuk is just an absolute monster.
Yeah.
And when you have a guy like that who's a difference maker, he's a winner. He's going to find himself in the right spot because he puts himself there, and he's going to finish games, and he's got 3 overtime winning goals so far in this playoff.
So, like, I remember, like, like we were watching that Bruins Panthers game, the game 7, and we both watched Verhaeghe's goal, and like we were both like, what the hell just happened? Because like no one predicted that to happen. That was obviously before our Rangers got eliminated. But like we were like, yo, this team could be nice, and they just have so much heart. Like that's what I think. They're just playing like they've played hockey for the past 2 months now, because they know what they're capable of. They know how to play in these situations now, and they're not a stranger to it. Especially Barkov, Tkachuk, the big guys that are stepping up, and you need to step up in these situations. Tkachuk has been incredible this playoff, and like Barkov with that between the legs fake, that was incredible, and that is one of the prime examples why the Panthers are doing so well.
Well, not to mention that they got a $10 million goalie in Bobrovsky, who's actually playing like a $10 million goalie right now.
And we're going to go on to another topic. Why are the Canes and the Stars doing so badly? And this is another one. They're just cracking under pressure. They don't, I know the Canes in their past 3 Eastern Conference Finals have gotten swept. And that's a very good possibility tonight.
I think, honestly, that when you don't have the top skill guys in your lineup and you're this far along in the playoffs, your weaknesses are going to show.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Canes, they do have elite talent. They have Aho, they have Slavin, they have Burns. There's no lack of talent, but when you're missing guys like Svechnikov and Pacioretty, these guys are difference makers along the lines of Tkachuk and Barkov. And when you don't have, arguably 2 of your top 3 players in the lineup in the Eastern Conference Finals, it's going to come back and kick you a little bit.
Yeah, also, I'm going to get to this. Frustration. That has been the story of the conference finals for the Stars and the Canes. You can see a video of Aho breaking down in the hall after game 3 loss, he's slamming a stick, because I don't blame him. What are you supposed to do? He can't. He feels like he's the only one doing anything, because he basically is. He's going in the dirty areas, and in the regular season he normally doesn't do that, but in this case he does. And I think this playoff with Pacioretty and Svechnikov with the 2 leg injuries, that's really hurting them, because they don't really know how to play that playoff hockey that they know without them. I mean, they've played 2 on the easier side opponents with the Islanders and the Devils. I'm not saying the Devils aren't good. I mean, they beat our favorite team, but they didn't know how to play there. I get it in the first round, you just have nothing to lose, go out there, but once again, you can crack under pressure in the second round. I know this. I played playoff hockey this year, and even if it's a game, and even if it's only one game against a team, and there are 3 other teams in there, you still have pressure. I got sat for a whole third period once in a playoff game. That was just pressure, because I played with pressure on my shoulders. You just have to go out there and you have to just forget about everything else that's going on and just not care.
Yeah.
You have to shoot the puck. You have to skate to the puck. You have to do everything that you would do in a practice, even if no one was watching. Sure, all eyes are on you, but that shouldn't really make a difference.
Right.
You do the same thing with no eyes on you. And I think that's what you really got to emphasize if you're these Canes or Stars players, because they have to realize that this series is not over yet. It's very capable for you to go down 3-0, even if reverse sweep. That's very capable. You guys can do that, but it's going to be tough. You guys have to have some heart.
I don't know. I think the Vegas Golden Knights are just better.
Yeah.
than the Stars right now. And, the fact that they jumped out on them last night in Dallas and they just kind of beat them in the first period alone. Ben took that awful penalty. He gets the game misconduct. So it's not looking good for either team. But I guess we'll see what happens. Like you said, anything's possible.
It's the playoffs, man. And now we'll head on to our next topic, and that is our favorite team. Gerard Gallant and the assistant coaches of the Rangers are fired, and the Rangers' longtime trainer in Jim Ramsey, they're all fired. Like, I think we're just trying to go for a full rehaul now. We lost, and I don't blame Jury for this. We just lost 2 series in a row where we were up 2-0, and it's not really showing because he's making all the moves possible. He got Tarasenko, he got Kane. He's doing what he can, and this coaching staff and these players aren't delivering. So I think they're just trying to go for a full rehaul, and I guess we can talk about the runner-up for the Rangers head coach. Who do you think?
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see the direction that he goes in. It could be, the guy from the AHL, Knobloch.
Yeah, Knobloch, the Wolfpack.
Nobody out there in terms of ex-coaches really jumps out at you as being like this can't miss guy, like a Barry Trotz.
Yeah.
If he was available, that'd be a different story. But Laviolette or...
I heard Laviolette is a big runner-up. Yeah,
Quinville isn't back yet. The NHL hasn't lifted his suspension.
Yeah.
And Babcock, for what it's worth, Babcock didn't do much when he was with the Maple Leafs for the past couple.
He didn't do anything.
None of these retread guys are really jumping out. So maybe you just give it to somebody who's never had a shot. You look at a guy like Bednar on the Avs, and you look at Cooper on Tampa Bay. Somebody gave these guys shots, and they ran with it. And both have Stanley Cups to show for it.
Yeah. That the Wolfpack guy can really be a runner-up, and I've seen what he done. And that is not, and I think if that's the caliber hockey that he can coach and they can do well, they made it to the third round. Obviously not the conference finals in the AHL. There's one more round, but they made it to the third round in the playoffs against the Hershey Bears, who have a very good reputation in the AHL. They're 11-time champions of the Calder Cup.
Wow.
I mean, and from all I remember as a kid, and the Hershey Bears were always good.
Right. You had a Hershey Bear sweatshirt.
Yeah,
we went to Hershey Park and there was a Hershey Bear store in Hershey Park.
Yeah, honestly, a Hershey Bears game could be kind of sick. I'm not gonna lie.
Road trip.
Oh, hey, but nah. But they've always been good, and they put up a little bit of a fight against them. But I don't think it was enough. Obviously, they got swept 3-0, but who knows if it's a 4-game series? Maybe the Wolfpack can come back.
Yeah.
But we will head on to our next topic, and that is Arizona. What is going on?
They don't have a stadium, is what's going on.
And this, the
people of Arizona don't want them there anymore.
No, it's just the 60-year-old old head voters, bro.
No.
They would prefer a landfill over a hockey arena.
Okay, boomers.
Yeah, honestly. And do you know what I heard?
What'd you hear?
The Utah Jazz owner is interested in I have so much respect for the Arizona owner. He's it's not up for sale. We want to stay in Arizona.
Yeah, but if they don't have an arena, then they don't really have a choice.
Yeah,
they can't play in Mullet Arena. They'll play there next year, but they cannot extend that.
Yeah. Also, I love this social media admin. a minute after.
That's because you're a kid.
No.
And the social media admin acts like a kid.
No, because, like, this man is, like, out of pocket, bro. He's like, know what? 20K likes on Twitter. And know what? We'll leak our new stadium plans, like, an hour after.
So, Rick Roll meme was what, like 30 years ago?
Yeah.
So, come on.
Like.
Come on, bud, as you would say.
Like, buddy, your arena plans just got scratched down like an hour ago. Like, slow your roll.
Yeah.
Get a soda, buddy. Like, well, I think like Salt Lake, maybe Kansas City would be. I would love to see a team in Houston. Maybe give Quebec City a team back.
I don't think they're ever getting a team back.
Yeah. Never Atlanta. Never.
They're done?
Yeah,
they had their shot?
Dude, 2 teams in a row you guys didn't attend the games to. Like, they're good. But, now we get on to the hottest goalie in the league right now. Sergei Bobrovsky is a brick wall.
I think that says it all.
I saw a stat a couple of days ago, and this was before Game 3 and Game 4. In his past 2 games, in his past 2 games, he had 113 saves, 4 goals allowed.
And that was before the shutout the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, that's insane.
Yeah, well, and that's why they say if you have a hot goalie in the Stanley Cup playoffs, that goalie could win a Stanley Cup for you.
Yeah, I think that was Igor last year. Tampa just cracked him, and obviously their defense just collapsed. And honestly, Igor was pretty good this year too, but we just had 0 offense or 0 defense.
That's not going to help.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter how good your goalie's playing.
I mean, I think we'll definitely be back next year, but I mean, Sergei Bobrovsky, dude, you are such a goat. Like, bro's showing everyone up. Like, I bet DraftKings doesn't have this going for it. Like, do you know what the odds were that the Canes would win?
I don't.
Like 96%.
Really?
Apparently.
I don't think anything is that high. You may have that wrong.
Maybe I was Boston or Toronto, but like, how stacked are the odds against this Panthers team, dude? And then Sergei Bobrovsky comes up, slaps him in the face, and leaves. Because I remember when he was on the Blue Jackets and he was like insane, and then like people forgot about him for years.
Well, they forgot about him because he wasn't playing well, and he wasn't playing.
He was a backup for how long? And then now he's popping out again. Like, I saw a clip where Buddy is just so humble. Like, he's talking to Henrik. He was like, it's an honor to talk to Henrik right now. Which, one of the greatest goalies of all time, and I stand by that. Maybe, if not the best goalie of all time.
Henrik?
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah. No, okay. Martin Brodeur is overrated. Dominic Hasek's pretty nice, but
I'd say Patrick Waugh is better than Henrik.
Patrick Waugh is apparently a jerk, which...
Well, that doesn't mean he's not a great goalie.
That's right, but that was another conversation I had with Mike today. I was like, were there any, like, jerks that you... Because a guy gets a player with a guy gets... Each guy gets a day with the cup.
Right.
And I was like, okay, well, are there any, like, total jerks? And then he was like, Patrick Waugh wasn't the best guy to be around. Like, he was just, like, apparently he was just rude. I was like, I mean...
Well, that's not the first time anybody said that about him.
I guess he still has his 2 Stanley Cup rings plugging his ears.
That's right. He doesn't care.
Next topic, Kravtsov. Once again, going back to the KHL in Russia.
I don't think the NHL is going to work out very well for him.
He's done this so many times now. In New York too. He wanted to be in the NHL. We sent him down to get him developed. He said, "Nah, fuck that." and went back to Russia for 2 years, and then came back and was shipped away because we didn't want him.
Well, I don't know if we didn't want him, but I think he wanted to leave, and the Rangers needed to open up cap space, and that was an avenue that allowed them to do it. He went to Vancouver, and then Vancouver gave him a little bit of a chance, and he just fell into bad habits again. I guess I don't know. I don't know. Well, I'm not a scout. I don't know. What he needed to do versus what he didn't need to do. But it's quite clear that he's just maybe not ready for the NHL at this point. He went back. I don't see him coming back to the NHL, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Russia, I guess it's better suiting for him. Cause it's just don't be a baby. You got sent down to the AHL because you need development, not because you're a bad player.
Well, he didn't agree with that.
People know what they're doing, and you're just gave him the double FU and said peace.
Stone cold salute.
Yeah, on its way out, crushed. If vodka was in a can, showered himself in it.
Yeah.
Our next topic, which is actually awful, and Velino, you should be ashamed of yourself. The Velino Niederreiter incident.
Yeah, I don't quite know what he was thinking there. He just
let me stomp on this guy's leg.
Let me take my skate blade. And Evander Kane got hurt earlier this year. I think most NHL players would know that you can't step on anybody with the blade.
That's a big no-no.
Yeah. One of your teammates in last year on your team got stepped on and had some of his nerve.
His tendon was torn.
Yeah, so it's dangerous.
And he literally just came back. That happened in February. I saw him last weekend. He was playing, which it was really fortunate for him. But you can't do that. You cannot do that, especially it's a world championship game.
What do you get, a five game?
5 game, I think. Yeah, which I think it should be more. I think it should be a lifetime ban. Also, after the fact, did you go to see that he dove? He dove, because Niederreiter, pushed him.
Right.
And he, dove into the net.
I didn't see that.
Because they were having, a scrum in front of the net. They were tied up.
Yeah. Okay, yes,
and he, dove into the net.
Gotcha.
What are you doing?
Right.
You do a dirty play like that, and then you dive. What type of clown are you? What was the thought process there?
I don't know.
Oh, my. And now we get on to the next topic. The Senators... Ryan Reynolds out. Now that just leads to the question: is Snoop buying the Sens?
I don't. The last I heard, I think I read something today that said whoever had a bid in, the leading bid, people weren't quite sure if they were ever able to pay for the club and then pay the players and where the money was coming from. So that happened a few years ago. You probably don't remember, but there was an E60 story on the Islanders owner and the fact that he bought the team but didn't really have enough money
I remember that.
to buy the team, so they don't want something like that to happen again, I guess. But yeah, I don't think Snoop is going to get that bid in, but I could be wrong, I guess.
I mean,
they haven't really come out and said yet.
Snoop has some weed masterclass, bro. Don't he could sell some weed and get that, bro. You know how much.
That's how he's gonna make billions of dollars by selling weed,
dude. You know how much marijuana is. There's a demand here.
Oh, okay.
Just sell it to potheads. They'll keep on buying, and at that point, let's go.
Is that how it works?
Treat it like Walter White meth, $40K a pound. Mega hard potheads will come out, and that leads us to our next topic. Is Austin Matthews out of Toronto?
No. I mean, not this year.
But people are saying that he's going home.
No, he's not going. He's definitely not going to Arizona.
I mean, he's
not going to play in an arena with that they can't sell 5,000 tickets.
This is all part of the masterclass plan. Once they get like a star player like Matthews, then skyrocket, sold out every game.
And where are they playing?
They're gonna make a new one in Scottsdale.
I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, that's happening. 100%. No, 100%.
Gotcha.
I would love to see Matthews in a smaller market.
I will say that if whoever the new GM that's coming into Toronto, they're gonna have to decide how much money to give the guy, because you can't go past the trade deadline.
Yeah.
And not have him signed. You don't want a John Tavares situation where the Islanders lost him for nothing. So it'll be interesting, to say the least, on what goes on. But I don't really see him going anywhere. But I'm also not...
John Tavares, you mean Pajama Boy?
Yes, Pajama Boy.
Have you seen that picture?
Yes. You wear Ranger pajamas all the time. What are you laughing about?
Dude. There was like this video of like Islanders fans right outside Nassau Coliseum where they were like crying, and like
if you ever make
they were like Pajama Boy, like all dramatic, like they were like you said you would never leave, like, and then they were just like insulting him, like Pajama Boy.
If you ever make the NHL, I'm giving the NHL draft pictures of you in your Rangers pajamas.
Dude, if you do, you're getting dropkicked down the stairs. I have no remorse.
Okay.
That leads us on to our next topic, which happened last night. What the hell is Jamie Benn on?
It wasn't very smart.
Okay, so I'm about to walk you through this sequence. So Mark Stone goes for a clean hit. He reverse hits him, says, "No what? Fuck this guy," cross checks him in the neck, and then falls accidentally in quotes, and then gets a game misconduct. And now, after the game, he goes and says, "Oh, I wish I didn't fall and use my stick against Mark Stone's head as a landing spot." Bro, you can't do that.
I think Frank Saravelli had the best response and said, "I wish my fork would stop making me fat." Shout out to Saravelli.
What are you doing?
Yeah, it wasn't smart. It was in the beginning of a home game that you needed to win, and definitely put Dallas in the hole. And I haven't seen anything yet, but I'm fairly sure he's going to get suspended.
2 games.
Oh, he got it?
Yeah.
He got 2 games? Okay, so, you're the captain of the team. You got to make smarter decisions.
Also, he might be done.
I mean, all they need to win. Vegas just needs one more win.
Yeah, even if the Stars win one game and then Vegas wins the other, that's it.
Right.
Like, what are you doing? I've seen 5-year-olds with a more leveled head than you. Like, you can't do that. As much as I get frustrated on the ice, like, just reverse hit them and move on.
Right.
Like, I remember against, like, one game against the Jersey Shore Wildcats, I'm trying to receive a pass. I have my head toward the puck. There was a shorter kid than me. He tried to come hit me, reverse hit, and I was just trying to get the puck. Guy sprints in from behind me, hits me. I'm like, yo, like, that is the exact representation of that kid's temper. That's a 13-year-old's temper.
Right.
Like, that is... What are you doing? You can't do that in a home game that you need to win.
Yeah, I would agree.
You're the captain of the team, too. If I was a coach, take that and see off your jersey. Yep, give it to Sagan. Glue it on.
Not Pavelski?
Nah. No, give it to Sagan. Finally give the guy a letter.
All right.
Because Sagan's been just a unit for the past how many years, including in Boston. So, yeah, and that is just childish. Yeah, let me cross-check the guy in the head.
It wasn't a smart play.
luckily Stone was okay.
Yeah.
Also, the Brett Howden overtime goal. That was half of the goals that he ever scored on the Rangers ever. And Brett Howden, buddy, screw you for what you've done.
So far this postseason, Fost has an overtime goal. Howden has an overtime goal. Any other former Rangers?
I mean, Duclair just scored.
But he didn't have any overtime winners.
Well,
right?
I mean, at this point...
So, Mark Stahl's still playing. Brady Shea is playing, although probably not much longer.
I'm sorry, but how is Mark Stahl playing? That guy is old as dirt.
Well,
like, the guy is as old as you. I'm certain he's been...
I don't think he's as old as me.
I'm certain the guy's been playing since 2002. Like...
It's called longevity.
Longevity? The guy's like 85 years old. Buddy, time to go in the nursing home now. Like,
meanwhile, his team's gonna win, and he's contributes to it.
I'm talking to you, Jordan, Eric, too. I'm talking to you guys. Stahl brothers, give up, bro. Like, your time's done. You got cups.
Two out of the three. Well, Mark Stahl doesn't have any cups.
You're right. But like, at the end of the season, man, call it quits. You got a ring. Like,
yeah, well, I think if Florida wins, they just might.
Like,
remember when the Rangers tried to get Eric Stahl and that didn't work out so swell for them?
Like, in a matter of a year, gone to Minnesota.
Oh, well, he was a rental. It wasn't like they were gonna keep him around.
Oh my God, who is that? Since we're bringing up Mark Stahl, Boyle. No, not Brian Boyle. I mean
Dan Boyle.
Dan Boyle, yeah. The absolute Rangers legend, dude.
So I think they let played for Tampa Bay. I'm blanking on his name right now.
Is it Brian or
no? He was a defenseman. They let him go, and they signed Boyle, and that didn't work out so swell for them.
Who was it that they let go?
Strawman.
Dylan Strawman?
Anton Strawman.
Oh, dude, I remember Dylan Strawman like...
No, there's no Dylan Strawman.
I could have sworn there's a Dylan Strawman.
Dylan McElrath, maybe.
That's who I'm thinking of. Dude, these guys are all Rangers legends, man. Like, put them in the rafters.
Yeah.
There are so many, like, 2014, 2015 guys that are such nobodies, but they made such a big difference to the team. Also, Brad Richards, Rangers legend. I don't care what he did on Chicago. Rangers legend. That guy put us in the conference finals at one point. I think he scored the one goal in the Habs Rangers game, like in the elimination game. That eliminated the Habs. Rangers legend. Matt Zuccarello too. Rangers legend. No, he wasn't a nobody. He still lives in my heart. I love. We're gonna name this segment, teams legends. Dan Fritsch. I swear that guy's real.
I have no idea who that is.
I know. Rangers legend.
Oh, okay.
Martin Brodeur, Blues legend.
He played for the Blues?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
It was like last year. Yeah. But that's probably going to be wrapping it up on the second episode of the Press Y podcast. I really hope everyone enjoyed this, and I'm extremely sorry that we took a month break.
It might be another month. Who knows?
You guys just have to wait, at your computers, cross-legged, dilly-dallying.
Throw a subscribe. Press
notification.
Put your notifications on.
Yeah, you could be the first ones to listen to this podcast.
There you
go. But anyways, I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the podcast. It was really fun to make, and we're gonna be making more of these. Trust me, every week. On Friday, look out for it.
Well, let's not commit to a week.
Man,
just say, hey, when we come out, we come out. We'll try to do.
We're trying to do weekly.
Right.
No promises though.
You got
boys.
the end of school finals you have to study for.
0 finals actually.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
You're gonna have a math final.
I'm gonna have a French final too.
Yeah, so there you go.
Sweet. But anyways, I hope everyone enjoyed this podcast, and I'm Dylan,
I'm Russell.
and we'll see you next time on Press Y.
Peace.
Peace.